So, hello and welcome to Work Reconstructed. I'm your host, Glenn Hodgson, and today I'm delighted to be joined by the CEO of SupportWave, Kelvin Wetherill. And good day to you, Kelvin, and delighted to be speaking to you ahead of the London event, Integrating Talent Clouds into Your Enterprise Workforce, which is taking place on the 29th of May.
Yeah, we're really excited about that. Thanks for having me on the podcast, Glenn.
Absolutely brilliant.
We're definitely looking at speaking to enterprise customers and actually getting them to understand how better to use enterprise talent pools. So we're really looking forward to the event.
Excellent. Yeah, likewise on that. And just to begin, Kelvin, could you say a little bit about how technology is helping to match jobs and talent at the moment? Because there's so many things that are happening, and of course, Support Wave at the leading edge of this. It'll be great to understand some of the trends, themes, and what's going on.
Yeah, definitely. I think the biggest thing with SupportWave is the mix of the talent cloud and our platform, where we're using AI and automation as part of the technology's role in matching jobs and talent, analyzing resumes, matching skills and job descriptions, and this predicts the talent success. So there's a lot of optimizations within that from the technology stack. We
Yeah.
also used enhanced candidate experience. So gone are the days of just requesting talent and you get a bunch of CVs. We use chatbots for real-time answers, create more personalized application process, and tracking throughout the journey for the candidates, our customers, and ourselves.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
there's also the big data. Not many people talk about this, but we spend a lot of time identifying the trends within internal and external data, predicting hiring needs and optimizing customized strategies for our customers.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And this is what the market is looking for. I was just in Berlin last week, and a lot of the big organizations were saying, well, we can't really trust this. It's almost kind of the old Upwork, Fiverr approaches. We don't know what we're going to get. We don't have the opportunity to be able to train all these people from scratch. They might come, they might go. Of course, you're doing all this vetting to allow these things to happen. So you're making sure it's the right talent getting in the right places.
Yeah, well, I think that's also really important. We really specialize in IT talent, so we can put all of our energy into one vertical,
Yeah.
taking the time to vet skills. So we're not a generalist marketplace where you can go there and click a button and get whatever you need. It's specifically within IT. So
Yeah.
I think that's a huge value for our customers.
Yeah, so they know what they're getting and know that it's tried and tested talent that is there that wants to be open, but also wants to be able to work through the platform and find the right kind of projects and opportunities.
Exactly, especially within IT, people think it's IT support, but there's data analytics, there's Jira specialists and Scrum Masters and Power BI, and apart from all the normal cloud and networking and security infrastructure people,
Yeah.
there's help desk and everything else. So it's quite a wide pool just within IT. So we take a real sort of white glove approach, and it's more of a managed service than simply just clicking and getting talent that's peer reviewed.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like this approach because we're seeing studies almost on a weekly basis saying that there's such a shortage of talent, particularly IT talent. Companies and organizations can't find or can't meet the needs that they've got at the moment. And you're a resource where you can actually sort of bring these things together, bring them to the organizations, and you've got it there, and also meeting the needs of the freelancers and the contractors.
Yeah, that's exactly it. We're finding more and more as life goes on and as time goes on, people are wanting the power within themselves and not relying on big business to give them job security. So
Yeah.
with the huge sort of decline in talent accessibility and the workers wanting their own freedom and de-risking their employment, we connect them together and it's a win-win for everyone.
Yeah, it's great. It's great that you're doing this, and it's meeting the needs of the open talent, but it's also meeting the needs of the companies as well that are involved there. And Kelvin, can you say a little bit about the benefits for enterprises from this approach, the use of digitalization, but also the use of your platform and services?
Yeah, definitely. Everyone talks about cost saving and cost reduction. That goes without saying. Automating the routine tasks and minimizing human error to cut down hiring costs. As you
Yes.
can imagine, with our tracking that goes through from beginning to end, at any point, people can go and the customers can go and see what stage of the journey is, and it's a lot quicker than the usual traditional hiring.
Yeah.
This brings improved efficiency, speeding up the hiring process to fill the positions. It's critical to customers, um, as in many instances, they've been looking for certain skills for a while, or a key person has left the business, taking their unique skills with them. So it can take anything between 1 month and 6 months to hire a specialist that you're looking for,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to IT. It's a
Mm.
very specific skill in sort of whatever they're doing. If they leave the company, it's really difficult to fill that skill and at speed, because they usually got 30 days notice and they disappear from your business and you're left
Yeah.
with the hole.
Yeah.
And another important thing is the access to the global talent pool. We chat about this a lot, what the global talent pool is, and we are truly a global talent pool with people from west coast of US all the way through to Tokyo,
Yeah.
to Australia, Europe, all over the world. So using our digital platform, you get the access and reach the global and local diverse talent. So
Yeah.
it's not just about the global, it's also about the local. People want to use people in country, culture fits, and all that sort of thing. So it's not
Yes.
only about the cost saving, it's also about the culture fit within the business.
Mm. Mm. Precisely, and we hear all these stories on an ongoing basis about the wrong hires or the wrong fits, how difficult it is for the organization, and also how damaging it can be in terms of not just delivering the results that are necessary, but also the impact that it has in terms of the overall delivery, the corporate culture. These things are so important to get right before you integrate into the organization.
Yeah, totally. A culture fit is bigger than most people expect that it would be.
Yeah.
So we definitely take care. And also time zones. You can do a lot of offshoring, but I mean, most of the time people want the same time zones. They don't want to be having requests come through at 2 in the morning and have to respond.
Yeah. Well, there's a few night owls out there who like to work like that, but I think the sort of more aligned time frames are usually better for most people. Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely the night owls.
And when it comes to IT professionals themselves, Kelvin, the integrating the enterprise talent clouds here, how are these things working on an ongoing basis? How are the IT professionals of getting integrated into these things? What are the steps that you take to bring these people on board?
Yeah, so we've got a very stringent vetting process. As I mentioned, we're more of a white glove managed service. So we take care, we do ID verification, facial recognition. They undergo some tests. Also, customer service is paramount. We sometimes say that it's more important than the skill, because you've got to be able to deal with customers and give them the best service. So
Yeah.
we take them through a whole series. We call it our 10-step onboarding process.
Yeah.
And just keeping in mind, sometimes you can hire our IT professionals for 15 minutes for a quick job request, or 12-month, 24-month contracts for projects. So
Mm.
it's quite wide ranging. So we allow them to go through the process and get to a certain point where we take them through the first interview, allow them to sign their contract, and then they're on the platform as a freelancer. They're then able to do jobs and projects all over the world. And as they build up their reputation, we then allow them to go into the sort of more contract and bigger project roles. So we've tested them in the field themselves. So we know how good they are, that we know how responsive and their quality of services. Then we take them through another interview process when there's an opportunity with one of our customers, before going through the customer's process of interviews. So
Yeah.
before this talent is actually going into the customer, it's a rigorous test and 3 interviews before they start on long-term projects.
Yeah, so the companies are actually assured that they're getting the right kind of talent that meets their needs from day one. So they don't have these huge lead times. They know that there's individuals who are a good fit and actually deliver value from the beginning, which is absolutely fantastic and so needed these days.
Well, exactly. By the time our customers are coming to us, these guys have already gone through the vetting process. They've already done other work and jobs. And also, it's a benefit to both sides. The IT professionals are working on multiple projects all the time, coming off projects, going on other projects, and they're upskilling themselves by being exposed to all these different environments.
Yeah.
And that's a huge benefit for our customers, because you're not getting someone who's been stuck in a role for the last 10 years and not advancing their technical skill and being well rounded. So it's a win-win once again.
Mm. It is, and you touch upon a very interesting point there, Kelvin, because we're seeing this. The best talent is, we talk a bit about sort of reskilling, upskilling, lifelong learning, but through these projects is actually learning more, and almost these kind of like accelerated feedback loops as well. By doing the project, you find out what works well, different ways of working, and there's expanded knowledge and expertise can be used on the next project. So it's kind of a cumulative interest approach, that the talents that you've got accumulative, you're getting sort of stronger and better, and a better proposition to the market.
That's exactly it. If you look at all sort of studies, you'd use about 10% of what you learn when you're doing the theory and exams.
Yeah.
But especially in IT, the only place you learn is on the job. You're thrown into the deep end if you don't know what you're doing, or you know a certain skill and you're expanding on it. So
Mm.
nothing compares to actually being in the field and doing the work. So we put a lot of emphasis on getting your hands in there and understanding and growing your skill from that perspective. Not only doing exams and courses, which we also offer to our teams, but
Mm.
yeah, on the job work, nothing can compare.
It can't. And in the increased use of AI as well. I mean, we hear all these doom mongering stories, but it seems to be that the individuals who are actually sort of getting to grips with AI know how to have a parallel process and actually use it as a tool as opposed to see it as a threat. These are the individuals that are really benefiting. And it's probably also linked to sort of that can-do, inquisitive mindset that's always evolving, always developing, and kind of always in beta, I suppose you could describe it
Mm.
as.
Yeah, I mean, we always refer to ourselves as a bunch of nerds. We like the platform, we like the tech stack.
Yeah.
So we've dived fully into AI as it came out. We've been investigating different ways of how to improve the platform and business, and it's actually had quite a big transformational effect within the business.
Yeah.
I myself, I don't even use Google anymore. I've got that Chat GPT app on my phone, and I get
Yes.
relevance instead of spending hours researching. It's just unbelievable how
Yeah.
AI is improving the world. I know there's doom mongering and all the rest of it, but I'm really excited about AI, and I think it's going
Well,
to bring more jobs to tech than what people think.
yeah, you and me both. And I think also I'm really interested, even if the sort of the last 6 months, we've seen this new roles, new value that can be created. And as we move more to a value model than a role or a title model, it's almost sort of the AI is creating new roles that need to be filled. Certainly more than it's actually sort of taking away. It's just people need to be adaptable and flexible, and updating their knowledge and skills so that they have value in the day of the workplace of today, but also tomorrow as well.
Well, exactly. We've moved away from role based more towards skill based. So
Yeah.
when our engineers sign up, they sort of tag all of their skills, and we use AI to read into their CVs, read into their skills. So it's purely skills based. It's the role based has gone away. I think it's a bit of a dinosaur.
Yeah.
Now people are coming in and saying we need these skills for the projects. These 5 skills are important. AI goes and matches everything and pulls back the candidates for us. So it's really really important.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And this is a change, and it seems to be the traditional recruitment companies. Don't want to mention any names, but they seem to have been very slow to catch on to this. But I suppose that's the competitive advantage of Support Wave, that you've assessed this, adapted to this very, very quickly, and therefore giving the value that the customers require.
Yeah, starting the business pre-COVID, we were lucky that our foresight was on point. Uh,
Yes.
COVID really accelerated, and that's where we started finding skills requests rather than roles requests. So
Yeah.
I definitely think the recruitment companies have been left behind. The longer they take to change over to the new way of doing things, the worse it's going to be for them.
Yeah.
The world's changing at a rapid pace now, especially with AI and matching and accessibility to skills. So they really need to change their business model. Instead of we don't go towards the full-time hiring and they take them onto their platform, or within their business. We manage everything. So we're the employer of record. We look after everything
Yeah.
from A to Z, where traditional recruitment companies, they've got to keep on building the pipe and supplying people, where we provide a holistic service and a platform.
Yeah, to take all the pain out of this. And I think that one thing that seems to be happening in the market as well is this um, kind of more familiarity. You talked about sort of the post-COVID, but also the legal departments and HR departments are getting more comfortable with this approach because they realize the value it gives to the organization. and you take the pain out of it. So therefore, it sort of takes away all the headaches. So the risk associated with this kind of model is reducing all the time.
Yeah, totally. We've seen over the last 5 years, initially going into enterprise customers and MSPs. IT companies are also one of our biggest customers because they use the talent to scale and flex and in different locations and time zones. But
Mm,
we've really seen a major change where in the beginning it was all about education and trying to get these businesses to understand this is what's going to enable your growth and your revenue and your efficiencies. And now it's not so much about more the education, it's more about we needing the talent. How can we improve the platform? So that they're understanding this is the way to move forward. This is what's going to benefit my business, which
yeah,
is really refreshing. I thought it was going to take a lot longer for businesses to understand,
yeah,
but luckily, with all the press out there and COVID and all the awareness, like you creating in the freelancer movement and
yes.
all over Europe, that visibility is out there, and people are seeing it all across LinkedIn and everywhere else. So it's really helped the movement of freelancers and understanding how this movement is moving forward.
No, I really think it's fantastic, and it's also something that's really happening on a almost like weekly basis. That more and more talent is choosing this more flexible options, more choice as to when, where, and how they make money. But enterprises are realizing they need kind of a freelancer strategy. They need a mixture of full-time employees, but also contractors, freelancers, all kind of open talent, and not view them as like second class citizens or someone that's down the hierarchy, but much more flat, and people that can actually come in. And you talk about scaling and flexing, meeting the needs when it's required within the organization to meet the requirements. And it's, the old hierarchy seem to be moving away so quickly. It's much more agile, much more of a networked approach that we're seeing in the corporate culture of today.
Yeah, definitely. I think freelancers were seen as the ugly cousin, and now they're literally more important because you can get
Yeah,
that skill when you need it.
yeah,
So gone are the days of you having to hire this person, take them onto your payroll, this long duration to getting them sort of into your culture. You can
yeah,
just turn on the skills as you need them, and you have the access to thousands of skills, not limited skills of going through recruitment companies, actually
yeah.
going onto the platform, getting hold of our team, and you can it's funny. I always say we haven't been able to, or we haven't not found one skill that one of our customers has looked for because we've got 6,000 engineers on the platform
Yeah.
globally. So we've got a real big network to plug into.
Mm, yeah, completely, and that's the one thing I like as well, is that sort of more organizations are seeing the benefits of this as well on a kind of a daily basis. So it's not a case of shall we be doing this or not. It's kind of we need it, and we want to be a part of it. And I think also the talent that goes on the support wave channels, these are people who are continually learning, they're innovative, they want to develop their skills and knowledge and expertise. So it's almost like the freelance open talent has more value than a full-time employee who maybe there's the office politics, these issues, they maybe not happy with their annual performance review. The whole thing's so much more long and maybe less dynamic than it is within the culture and the ecosystem that you've created, Kelvin.
Yeah, definitely, especially in IT. I've been a techie my whole life from the early days of doing engineering myself
Yeah.
and working in support and solutions architecture and that sort of thing. And the one thing that techies are scared of is not improving their skill because they'll get left behind. So
Yes.
the days when we were working on customer sites and the knowledge we got was on the job, there wasn't Google back in those days. So it was literally learning from a friend, phone a friend, can you help me out? And it
Yeah.
was all about the hierarchy of skill. The really top guys were gods in those days, and everyone else wanted to be like them. So having this ability and this dynamic ability to go and work on different projects and increase your knowledge, it's absolutely critical to IT people.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And you talk about when you started your career there, Calvin, which is it was one thing, but now those lead times, everything changes so quickly. Where we were talking about months in the past, or even years. Now we're talking about months and weeks with the developments. It's always having to be on top of the developments and the changes that are underway.
Yeah, I mean it's even sooner than that. We had a call from an enterprise customer based in London on a Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. and we had two senior engineers on site at 9 a.m. in the morning, on site in their location, getting onboarded and working. So, and that's an on-site request. The remote requests are almost instant, but yeah,
Yep.
it's gone from months to almost days. Even from a help desk perspective, we're rolling out help desk for businesses in the US. Within
Yep.
5 days, we're onboarding teams. We integrating them into the platform and they're answering calls and supporting remotely. So
Yep.
it's unbelievable the speed at which we can get these this talent to the market.
Absolutely fantastic. And what do you foresee for the future, Kelvin? Because you're at the cutting edge of what's happening at the moment. Where do you see things going over the next months? We don't want to talk about years. That's too far ahead. It's impossible to predict that. But where are we going, and what are the sort of things that we should be looking out for?
Yeah, I mean, we're lucky enough to be in the position where we started the platform many years ago. So our platform
Mm.
is really advanced and people are able to access this talent. So we're really on the front foot and constantly improving the platform. And where people are moving more and more towards the freelancer movement, we I just see it exponentially increasing.
Yeah.
I think it doesn't, we previously thought it was a couple of years, but it's actually feeling like a couple of months
Yeah.
as enterprises are finding out more and more they can't be left behind. So we're seeing this sort of mass adoption starting to happen already.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. It really is great, and I think the future is yet to be seen, but the sky is the limit in terms of the potential and offering the service, the role, and the ecosystem, which is just so valuable for the corporate enterprise clients. I think it's just going to be success after success, Kelvin. I really do.
Yeah, I think so too. We're really excited about this positioning where we are and what we know, what's coming. It's just really, really exciting for the business. And another big thing we always like to say, we like to enable all the guys on our platform and we're able to give them jobs. So it's a really satisfying sort
Yeah.
of thing to be able to be doing for people out there. It's people are getting job losses all over the place. So
Yep.
you've got these shortage of talent and these job losses, and we're able to connect them and give people their sort of survivability and let them grow in their skills and earning. So it's
Yeah.
a really great place to be.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, all credit to you, and thanks for coming on to be able to explain a little bit about some of the trends, what's happening, and unpicking some of the themes in the sector, Calvin. Really appreciate it.
No, thanks so much for your time, Glenn. Always great to chat and looking forward to seeing you next week at our event in London.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to it. It's going to be fantastic. And I will also put the links to find out more information about this on the event on the 29th. So until then, thanks very much indeed, Kelvin, and see you soon.
Brilliant. Thanks, Glenn. Chat soon.